Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Glazers out. How do we remove the Glazers from our beloved Manchester United Football Club? We have just seen a terrible transfer window finish in such an underwhelming fashion, while the Glazers were funneling information to the media about Jadon Sancho, a move that was never going to realistically happen. Everything that's going on at Manchester United is wrong, and we must remove them. But how do we do that? Well, this is a very serious situation. I come from a movement called Release the Snyder Cut. Now, we believe that our director, the director of the original Justice League, Zack Snyder, was betrayed. They lied about him. They said he left because of the death of his daughter, the tragic suicide. It was a really serious situation. And the way we got that movie finally announced was bringing Warner Brothers Pictures to its knees. And we must do the same thing to Manchester United Football Club. And Warner Brothers Pictures are a bigger entity than Manchester United. We must devalue Manchester United. Now, you must understand what I'm proposing is something that is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of social media presence. Devaluing Manchester United means we'll bring it to its knees. You must understand that. But this is the most loyal, faithful thing we can do to this club. You've got to understand that the Glazers and Woodward have got all of the mainstream sporting media on its side. Again, going back to the Release the Snyder Cut campaign, we had movie pundits and journalists up against us all the time, making us look like toxic trolls. It was a huge battle. It affected our mental health. We were trolled. We were attacked online. We were attacked via DMs. This is what I'm proposing, and what many people are proposing, high profile and low profile. It's a big deal. We're talking about, making sure that Manchester United is worthless to any prospective sponsors. And even the current sponsors, we're talking about making it so unprofitable towards them that they suspend their sponsorship, things like that. But as I say, this will take years. This is a huge undertaking. It means hashtagging constantly Glazers out. No matter what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, no matter how good the score, Martial scored, how good the goal Anthony Martial scores, or another player, no matter how well or how badly we're doing. Because the difference between, fighting to get a movie released and fighting to remove owners from a football club is that, the fortunes of a football club are up and down. A goal can change everything. But we must be resolute. No, it doesn't matter how good the results are, how bad the results are. We must be resolute. And this has to happen all on Twitter. Twitter is the place where we got the Snyder Cut to be announced on HBO Max for next year. This was something that took us 2.5 to 3 years to do. And Manchester United fans, what I'm proposing to do is a harder job. And as I say, as a fandom, we're split. We're split because some of us are blaming Ollie. Some of us are blaming the Glazers. Some of us are blaming Ed Woodward, right? That has to stop. We have to look at this as all of them being in one group and all of them being to blame. Ed Woodward shouldn't be chief executive of Manchester United. The Glazers shouldn't own Manchester United. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shouldn't be our manager. I know that's hard for you, some of you, to understand, but Ollie is part of this. He wants to be Manchester United manager. He wants to work within their remit, right? At the end of the day, he is part of them. And we have to bring him down, as harsh as that sounds, like we have to bring them down. And as I say, bringing them down means that the Manchester United franchise is so unprofitable, that its reputation is so bad that they no longer want to own it. By doing this, we could bring the club to bankruptcy, to its knees. This is a serious undertaking. This is not something that anyone should go in lightly, but we need to be together on this or it's never going to work. There are so many fan organisations for Manchester United. We're a global concern. We are probably the most supported club in the world, even after this whole shit show. There's a lot of people who can unite together to bring these people down. But as I say, to get rid of these people is going to be difficult. Don't think it's just about hashtagging Glazers out a few times. We need to get in touch with the current sponsors. Make sure that no prospective sponsors wants to go near Manchester United. It's going to get dirty. It's going to become unfriendly. And everyone in the game, including supporters, media, and other football clubs will look down on us. This is not something we're going to win a medal for. But this is about our club. You know, I've stuck up for the Glazers in the past, and I blame managers. But the truth of the matter is that every manager that they brought into the club was wrong for our club. We've seen David Moyes doing really well for West Ham. He just wasn't right for us. Mourinho's doing well for Spurs. He just wasn't right for us. It was obvious that Mourinho could never deliver us the brand of football we wanted. Mourinho wanted 11 tall African guys, physical specimens, and so they can dominate the other team. That's how Mourinho plays, right? And they didn't want him to do that because they wanted him to be Sir Alex Ferguson. Well, he's not. He's Jose Mourinho. So totally the wrong appointment. And then you look at Louis van Gaal again. Played, you know, a possession type of football, but it wasn't the way we wanted to play. And he was a bit of a lunatic as well, wasn't he? A funny lunatic, but a lunatic. So every manager they've brought in, including Ollie, has been wrong for us. Nobody, no self-respecting owners would bring Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in unless they wanted a cheap and cheerful kind of solution. And he was no solution. He came in, we played well for 3 months, right? And that was because he was a shot in the arm, new manager syndrome. And even before he signed his full-time deal, the results were going down. The performances were going down, but they still signed him up. And it got worse. And really, there's been, apart from since when Bruno came in, near the second half of last season, when we played a little bit better. But even those performances subsided by the end of this season. So part of the problem is, Ollie, we do need a better manager. But it doesn't matter who comes in. If they're running the club or the team in the remit and premise of the way the Glazers and Edward would want, it's no good. I do believe that no one that Ollie has signed this summer was his decision. I don't believe any of those players are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signings. I don't believe it. I think they're Ed Woodward signings. And again, this is a problem. And we've seen this happen to so many clubs. I remember when we were dominant and I saw so many clubs run so badly. We saw it happen to Kevin Keegan at Newcastle. We saw it happen at Blackburn after Jack Walker left. We've seen it happen so many times where managers are not making decisions. They don't have that freedom to build their own team. But the thing is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is no type of manager. He relegated Cardiff. We know he came in. He came in after a bad time. He was a shot in the arm. He should have been the temporary manager. And then someone like Pochettino should have come in. But even Pochettino can't come in and run the team in the way that the Glazers run the football club. So we know it's a problem. And I've been deluding myself about the Glazers for a very long time. I've been like you guys and girls, right? It's him, it's her. No, it's them. No, it's everyone. And we must look at this as them against us. So it doesn't matter if it's Ollie. It doesn't matter who's there. They are part of the problem because they're there under that structure. And that structure is wrong. And we can see that now. And so it's about hashtagging Glazers out. It's about even, tagging the handles of the sponsors and prospective sponsors and making United look like this troubled club. It's constantly hashtagging Glazers out. And what we did over with Release the Snyder Cut is create events 3 or 4 times a year. Those events last year were very successful. We had a massive event in November, and ultimately we had Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck hashtagging Release the Snyder Cut. This is what we need to do as well. We need to get the ex-pros involved. People like Gary Neville, who is no friend of the Glazers. People like Ryan Giggs, lots of other people. It's going to be hard to get those guys to be involved. The only way those guys will get involved, and it's the only reason that Gal and Ben hashtag Release the Snyder Cut, is when they knew we were making noise. They didn't agree with what happened to Zach. And in the end, when they knew they had backing and they had no consequences, they got involved too. And I believe many ex-professionals from Manchester United will get involved with us if they think we're making enough noise. And the noise, when we look at the global support, it's there. But we really have to be serious about this. We have to be resolute. We have to be focused. And as I say, this is not something you can do with a few hashtags once or twice a day. This has to happen all day. And we all need to be on the same page, because we are in a situation now where our club is in serious trouble. We are in the premise now. We are on a ledge of relegation. You may not want to believe it. It may not be this season, next season, or the other season. But we will get relegated if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer continues to be our manager, running the team and the club the way he is. I heard yesterday he wanted Dembele to come in for 60 million. Not a good decision. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't the right manager for Manchester United, just like the Glazers are not the right owners for Manchester United, and Ed Woodward shouldn't be running team affairs either. They're a group. Us against them. It's as simple as that. And they will throw guilt at us. They will say we're disloyal fans, but that's not the way it is. A rebellion is hard. To go against something, an entity that you love, to bring it down for its own good, is a huge undertaking and really difficult. And we've got to be strong. We've got to remember what we were and what we are now. Gary Lineker says no team has the divine right to be successful. Well, I don't know a Manchester United supporter, Gary, who thinks we have the divine right. We are having a conversation for the best way forward for our football club, because we have the power and we do have the right to have that discussion. And you and mainstream media can keep on laughing at us and try and attack us, but we will bring Manchester United back to what it was if we're resolute and we do the right things here. We need events. We need to hashtag Glazers out. And the more we do that, we've got to stop buying the merch. We've got to stop subscribing to MUTV, and we've got to unfollow at Manchester United. Basically, these are the things that we have to do. They've got no crowds, right? They can't make money from spectators anymore. We can hit them with the merch, hit them with anything. And the biggest thing they make money off of is, beyond the merch, is the sponsorships. And once the sponsors see they're not making much money and they don't have the support they did, slowly, it will be dominoes falling on the floor, and they will be finished. And they will have to remove themselves from the Manchester United situation. I don't do a lot of Manchester United videos. I mostly talk about DC because I'm a big DC fan. But the point here is that I've done videos how this all started with the Glazers. Fergie being friends with the horse racing owners, bringing them in to buy shares. They owned about, 25% of the club? Fell out with Ferguson for revenge, selling those shares to the Glazers when they were doing their hostile takeover, right? Fergie started all this, right? That's why he's so quiet now. He can't do anything. He can't help us. Maybe he will help us if we become big enough. Maybe this is something he can do to make up for what he did. He was a great manager for us. He was beyond a manager. He made dreams come true. He turned this club around and gave it a structure it deserved. But we are now in a situation where it's our responsibility to do this. Talking about it, moaning about it isn't going to do anything. We are in a lot of trouble. Only we have the power together to save our club. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. See you again soon.